Hello and welcome everyone to the next episode of the Revencast, a Revenblade podcast. I tongue-tied myself,
Yeah,
but
say that 10 times fast.
I don't wanna. But I'm Actual Dez, and of course, as always, I am joined with a Panda Sniper. How you doing, Panda?
Hello, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
actually good. I'm not all right. I'm good.
In fact, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay how good I am, so I'm good.
So we actually have a good amount of things to discuss with today's episode. And one of the things I guess we'll go ahead and start with, since we have it on screen, is Revenblade now has a interactable playable tutorial that you can access by going to the offline tab, and then once you load in, there'll be options in front of you. I think you might have been able to catch the beginning of it if you were here for the stream. And you just select tutorial, and you'll be dropped in as Kaizen in this little map area here, teaching you how to play the game. Which I don't think this is I think this is just a no-brainer thing to just add, and also just a no shit kind of thing to say. Games need these.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be controversial to say that games should not have a tutorial. So,
I mean, every single game needs to have someone. Saw me whiff a dodge. Great. I think just every single game should have a tutorial. In the off chance that it plays different from anything you're used to, or you've just never played games before, that's what tutorials are for. It's to teach you the game. You can't just be expected to be thrown into the game just to swim without floaties when you've never swam before.
Yep.
Sink or swim. You can't.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing that's like there. Makes sense.
Yeah. I think this tutorial as well isn't final. I believe there's some changes happening after a couple of us patrons play tested through it. But it is a very good just general here's how you play Revenblade. Here's the controls. Here's capturing shards, upgrading, dodging, sprinting, etc.
Yeah.
But I think there are some changes that are going to come, especially when, well, I can't spoil anything, but relatively soon.
I actually didn't know there was going to be any changes added soon. Yeah, see right here, you'll have options to go into a regular training range. You can start a bot match like you've always been able to, or you can click the tutorial button and be dropped in right here.
Yeah.
And you actually got a little sneak peek of some of the UI changes, which is another thing we'll be discussing here shortly, because there's not much left to talk about a tutorial.
Yeah, there's too much. If I'm gonna nitpick real quick,
Yes,
one,
the Panda Special.
that's me, baby. The tutorial should be the first option, not the last option. But I think that's going to change anyway, because I think tutorial is going to be moved to its own button. So you'll have offline as a button and tutorial mode as a button, because tutorial mode is going to be forced, I believe, for new players.
Yeah.
That's super nitpicky. And the second fun thing about the tutorial, though, is that I don't know if you can really see it on the stream. You kind of can. There's a timer in the top middle that tells you how long you've been in this tutorial.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of fun to speed run it. I think the current record is a minute 20 or something, or 2 minutes 20. It's something 20. But it can be kind of a fun challenge to just try and speed run how fast can you actually complete the tutorial.
Yeah, I honestly, I guess to add to the nitpick basket, is maybe the timer should be a bit bigger and a bit more noticeable.
It is very small.
It's very small, easy to miss. Because honestly, I didn't realize that the timer was there for a long time. Never gave it any mind.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, why do you need to be timed in a tutorial? Who gives a shit?
It's just for fun. Nobody's I think part of the reason why it is small is that you're not going to notice it unless you know it's there. So it really it is specifically there because when we were testing it, I was like, hey, we should speedrun the tutorial, and Mocha added a timer. So
oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's just the community wanting to have fun with with the tutorial. So it's pretty
Yeah,
much everyone who knows who's in the Revenblade community knows how to play the game.
yeah.
It's just kind of another one of those things. At least it goes up and not down. I mean, that's fair.
That'd be really messed up. It like starts at 5 minutes and it just counts down. You're like, what happens if it
No, it starts at 2 minutes and counts down. You better
Oh,
run.
fuck. Yeah. Sprint, baby.
Speed learn. Speed learn. But
Oh man.
that's pretty much the tutorial.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to be swapping footage here as we get into talking about. Bless you. Sheesh.
Thank you.
We'll be discussing the new UI that was redone. I need to find my file here. There we go. And then, whoop. So you actually have a bit of. You can see the new team UI. You can see the UI for the crystal progression at the top there. Most of the characters have ability icons now. The experience bar was moved to the right. You have a health point number next to your health bar. Like there was just so many changes to the UI that honestly all of it looks great. I don't think I have a single complaint about the UI right now. Give it a couple minutes, I might. But on the surface level, like I really like the look of the new UI, as well as each of the heroes having an updated portrait in their little box in the team UI there. Except Layla, because fuck her, I guess. I'm kidding. She's getting she's probably gonna get some tweaks and rework soon. So they didn't bother, which makes sense. There's no point to waste time on that if you're gonna change something anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much just the reason.
Yeah, and I know that I'm just being a little shit. Because
Well,
I'm the only I feel like I'm the only Layla main in the community now.
yeah, Lumi used to be throwback if you remember Lumi. Lumi used to be a Layla main, but I don't know where they are. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the UI changes. I have been calling for UI changes for a while because I think the old UI was not great. And I believe there's also some very minor changes to actually they might have been pushed. I can't tell when you recorded this, but like when your health gets super low now, it goes red. I believe the health bar is actually segmented. And I think the health numbers got moved as well. But there's some minor changes that are not currently in the footage, but everything
Yeah.
else looks amazing. Like
I think
the little dots and
the changes that you're talking about probably wasn't added to the offline version.
yeah.
And or because I'm playing Kraken, I don't know if Kraken has like the visual effects, like the visual feedback on low health.
But yeah, it should be. I think it's universal. I think it's just not pushed, so it's just not in the game version at the moment. But I remember seeing photos of it or a video of it.
Yeah.
So.
Again, just kind of like a throwback to what we talked about like in a previous episode. Kraken, very fun.
Yeah.
I cannot play this character to save my life, but it's great when you just walk around as a freaking monstrous beast and just slapping everything with your tentacles. Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to like if you pay attention at the abilities at the bottom middle, you can see that Dez has RMB upgraded, Q upgraded, and then E is upgraded and augmented. So when that bar is above the ability with the filled in dot, that means that it has one upgrade. It also means that it's augmented. Which is just like a nice visual way for you as the player to be like, oh yeah, I have this ability augmented. Before you had no idea. There was no way to tell if an ability was augmented or normal.
Yeah, it was so annoying because it's like, wait, did I augment this ability? I mean,
Yeah.
probably, I guess. And you couldn't. You used to. I think you still can. If you open up the scoreboard, like if you hold tab or escape, you should be able to read your character abilities. But even that didn't tell you if you augmented your abilities or not.
Yeah,
It just gave you skill descriptions, which again is still helpful, but it didn't give you enough information of if you augmented the ability or not.
yeah. I think some of that is also still not 100% updated. If I remember correctly, he wants to do the scoreboard as well. I could be wrong on that. Nobody quote me. Um,
You heard it. Clip
but
it.
yeah, clip it. Um, but yeah, I believe he also wants to update the scoreboard UI and change the um, like ability description uh, thing when you hold it. But overall, like great step in the right direction. Makes the game feel way more modern. Whereas before it felt kind of dated and flat. Just now it feels much better.
Yeah,
Much more comparable to games of the modern era.
yeah, I agree because it definitely was very, I guess, bland is a way to say it.
Yeah.
Not to sound too harsh, but it just seemed kind of bland compared to like modern games now. But now with these changes to pretty much the whole like UI, it really adds a nice flair and just style
Yeah.
that Revenblade has. This is gonna sound weird. The new UI keeps the simplistic charm uh that the game has. Because I mean, look at the graphics. You know, it's not like fucking
Yeah.
you can freaking smell the flowers or some shit. Like you can see the freaking petals fly around, right? Very simplistic, but and that just is a nice thing about Revenblade's visual design. And I think the team UI doesn't really distract from that in any way. I think it kind of goes hand in hand, but all that
Yeah.
just sounded a little weird. But
There's a couple of things that I still think like could match better, especially with like now a lot of the corners are rounded as opposed to harsh and like just the colors and stuff for that's just like UI that I think just wasn't touched. Um, but yeah, overall, again, big step in the right direction. I would like if you can go back to the hero select screen. I want to show that off because it's one of the best hero select screens in like honestly any character quote unquote shooter.
I mean, I can,
Uh,
yeah, like I can. It's a little faded out,
yeah,
but
yeah, but this is just super clean. Like the
mm-hmm.
ability portraits rising above the boxes, so it makes them feel more 3D. The lighting on the characters is super like well done, except for Layla. Um, the
Someday.
they explode, so when you have one selected, it's much larger. And the abilities on the left underneath the name, you can click on them and it'll tell you the like what they do for each one. If I'm gonna be nitpicky, the only two things that I would change is I would move the role of the character from above the name to below, so it would say Vivian range carry instead of range carry Vivian. Super nitpicky. And the other thing is I would like to see the character portrait pose be different from the exploded pose.
Oh, I see what you
I don't
mean.
know, so that like that just gives a little more diversity in like how the characters are. But again, that's all super nitpicky stuff. Zero gameplay implications. Isn't gonna matter for beta, but
Yeah.
um,
It was
just
rudimentary, but it was also a first draft. Now it's shiny. Absolutely.
yeah,
That's definitely a good way to put it. Now instead of it being non-shiny, it is now shiny, which is great. Um, but yeah, all like everything looks great. I also love the the ability icons being added. I don't know. That's just
yep,
it's a small thing, but it really adds a lot to the game more than you think.
yeah.
That's good.
Shout out to Sharpie because I'm pretty sure he hand drew all of them,
Oh,
and
did
he
he? I
did
didn't know
it.
that,
Yeah, he did it in like 5 days or something, 4 or 5 days, maybe even less. Like it was, he drew a lot of icons very quickly. Um,
bro. Based
so
dev.
shout out to him.
Um,
Finally getting recognition.
and also going back to that point, it's like when the Revenblade used to not have like a detailed skybox. Um, it used to just be like kind of a blank sky. And a lot of people were like, yeah, I mean, the skybox is like whatever. It probably wouldn't add a whole lot. And then they made one. They made a skybox, and oh my god, it actually it makes a difference.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
everyone was like, yeah, whatever. Skybox is made. It's like, oh, okay, this looks great. It just makes the world that you're freaking beating each other to death in a lot more vibrant. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's the
yeah.
little things.
It's the little things. But yeah, like overall, the UI changes, all of them really good. Glad they got changed. If there are going to be changes, which I'd imagine there might be, I'm looking forward to seeing what those changes will be. Um, but with that, another thing I guess we'll discuss that's sort of on the small side, but still pretty exciting is the Steam integration for this game. And because I can't force my brain to put that into words, Panda, please explain that.
So basically, as of now, to play Revenblade, you have to download a completely separate launcher that's found at revenblade.com/download. You should go download it if you haven't downloaded it already. But if you, for whatever reason, don't want to install an independent launcher, um, it's going to be integrated into Steam. And what this means is that I'm pretty sure the next future playtest, or at least one of them, the goal is to have it via Steam, and you'll be able to link your current Revenblade account with your Steam account, and just launch the game directly from Steam, which is going to bring in a whole bunch of players. Everybody that doesn't want to currently download an independent launcher, anybody that thought that the previous playtest was going to be on Steam and was looking for it there. Steam is, pretty sure, the largest game like shop, network, platform, whatever you want to call it. So just having your game accessible on it is extremely important. Um, and I'm not sure if this is confirmed or not. This is just me speculating, but I'm hoping that you'll also be able to launch the dedicated launcher. Because I'm a big fan. Like, I hate having Steam open on my computer and stuff, and I like Revenblade, the launcher is very lightweight, super easy to just have open in the background. It has the chat feature and everything. So, but yeah, it's a good change overall.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand what you're saying, but most importantly, just yeah, it being on Steam will is a big step towards beta. I mean, we had an episode dedicated to those steps that they took towards beta, and I'll have a link to that episode or a card up top for the YouTube viewers to check out if they haven't already. Um, but that kind of stuff was still in the works as far as that we're concerned. But now it's getting closer to the point where Mocha himself was like, "Yeah, it'll happen soon." Like we weren't told anything directly. It's just more of confidence of yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be on Steam. It's literally almost here.
yeah,
So and like a lot of that is just me paraphrasing. Um, but like that's good. Like there's a lot of good steps that this game is taking for I don't want to sound like corny, but a bright future for the game.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I do think that and this is slightly off topic, but just in general, ensuring that the beta launch goes as smoothly as possible will be really important for making sure that the future of the game is bright. Especially given the current state of other third-person action, arena, shooter, whatever genre this is,
mhm.
games. So
Yeah, I mean, because
good steps being made.
yeah, because a lot of people were very excited when Gigantic pretty much came back. I
Yep.
feel like the play race has just kind of teetered off. Uh,
Totally not what I was referencing at all. Totally,
um,
absolutely not.
well, see, you were hinting. I'm flat out saying it.
Yeah. I
um,
mean, it's yeah. To be honest, I mean, I don't want to trash Gigantic too much or
Hmm.
abstraction games, but just
Yeah.
like it is very sad and disappointing to see how some of Gigantic was handled, especially with the recent release of Ranked and the current state of the custom games for that game. And just like the last time that I looked at Steam charts, it had like 100, 200 players on it, which isn't awful, but there's a lot of things that I think abstraction games and or whoever was working on Gigantic could have done better just to make sure that the launch was smooth. And it seems that Mocha and Sharpie and everybody else at Medallion Slate is actually um like has told us that they are like working on keeping an eye on trying to make sure that this beta launch is as smooth as possible. So
Yeah, and like the only time will tell of what will happen for the game. Obviously, we hope that nothing. It's perfect. It goes swimmingly. Nothing bad happens ever.
yeah.
But you can't predict that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This isn't a perfect world, unfortunately, because in a perfect world,
Yeah.
Revenblade would have no flaws.
That's a Gigantic reference, but I don't know if you made it. That's so
No, no, I didn't.
funny.
You could be considered a pilot because it flew over my head.
Ha ha.
I stole that joke from a community member. Let's go.
Perfect World is the publisher of Gigantic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But with all that said, Steam integration, it's great to see.
Great.
Looking forward to more news about it. But I mean, that's really the only news we have for that. Is like Steam integration. It's on the way.
Coming.
It's
Yeah.
coming soon. TM. Knock
Yep.
on wood. Because I hate the soon TM meme. I feel like it's a damn omen. But and with that, on to our last topic of today, and that is the public playtest that was held a couple weeks ago at this point.
Yep.
Well, wanted to try to get this episode out as soon as possible, but life happens.
Yeah. It was June 5th, whatever that was.
Yeah,
Oh my God. 3 weeks.
Yeah, June 5th.
Over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So a good amount of time has passed. I sadly couldn't make it to the playtest, so I personally don't have any thoughts or anything to share. It sucks that I couldn't play because obviously I wanted to, but I had things come up. But Panda here, he got to play in it.
I did get to play in it.
And what were your thoughts on the playtest?
It went about as smooth as you could expect. It was the first playtest utilizing the new queue system and the new ELO ranking system. I mean, as far as I know, nothing broke. People were able, like, if you got kicked from the game, or like your game crashed for whatever reason, people could reconnect. The ELO system worked, although I think that it needs some tweaks, but it's also really small sample size. I think we only played 5 matches, something like that. But no, it was good. It was probably the cleanest playtest that I can remember having in Revenblade. And the UI, like playing with the UI changes for the first time was super exciting. Getting to see new people play the game for the first time was super exciting. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
I enjoyed it.
that's another thing to point out. A lot of the playtests that happen with Revenblade is mostly with patrons, if not exclusively patrons. So for the fact that this was a public playtest where multiple people got to have their hands on Revenblade and got to play, the amount of I guess when the playtest was announced to like it was scheduled and announced, there were a lot of people like asking questions, excited. They were looking forward to playing the game. There was a lot of interest with this playtest, and that's a good thing. It's fantastic. And like Panda said, there was a lot of new people who got to play Revenblade for the first time during that playtest session. Which I believe that there was a good amount of feedback. I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
Not only from veteran members, but also new players.
Yeah, there was about 70 reactions on the at everyone in the dev updates channel for the playtest.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know we had 2 full lobbies, so it'd be at least 20 people playing at one point, but I don't know how many people were in queue, like during those 2 lobbies playing. Um,
Was there an actual like
so
queue or?
yeah, like you clicked when
Uh,
you would click to play, it would put you in the queue and it would say searching for match, and then when it found a match, you would get put into one. I know Mocha said that he plans on adding a like um if you have matches going, it'll tell you how many matches are going, and it'll also say how many players are currently, I believe, either in queue or just active, like playing. I think probably in queue. So like in the bottom right or somewhere, it'll be like 2 matches active, 7 players in queue, something like that.
okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that was another thing that I mean I figured that was part of the playtest, but I wasn't entirely certain.
yeah,
Um, it's really cool that they already worked in a like a matchmaking and queue system for this playtest. Which I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the last episode. It was the last episode or the episode before where we discussed the whole matchmaking system and everything that Medallion Slate was using and integrating. So I figured this playtest would probably help test that, but I wasn't there, so I wasn't
yeah,
100% certain. Um,
yeah.
but that's good to hear. I can only hope that we get uh another playtest like soon. Oh hey, look, the placeholder Poro, whoops, the Pudgy. It's just a placeholder model, which that's another thing I'm looking forward to. Like slightly off topic of what we have to discuss, but um, I'm really excited to see what they use for the boss monster over there on the side. Um,
Yeah. I wonder, I have concept art. I don't know if it was ever in patrons or if it was private, but I wonder if we can share that at some point because it's pretty
I
cool. At least it was some
oh,
ideas. I don't know if it's
yeah, I don't recall unfortunately, so I'm kind of playing it safe.
yeah.
Um, so not really sure if any of that is like public knowledge.
Nah, I
Um,
mean I'll just ask Mocha.
I mean,
We'll
worst
share it
case, I was gonna
if
say
he
worst
can.
case we could save it for the next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean the public playtest was a pretty good. What would you say is success? Like, what? How would you put it?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely a success.
Okay.
Like the ranking system worked. I believe if you'd played, like he hand went in because the way that Elo works, and he didn't really want new players to immediately get stomped. So if you were one of the regular players, your ranking was 1100, and if you'd never played before, your ranking was 1000. And as far as I can tell, like most of the matches were relatively balanced. We had a really good one against. Oh my God, I can actually go to my match history and find out. Um,
Sheesh.
who is it against? Nope, not that one. Hold, hold, please hold. It was against Nox, Arrow, Sharpie, Febreze, and Ravage Waffle. And it was Flim, Bloom, Carbon, myself, and Solthas on my team.
Okay.
So all vets, people that have played the game before. It was a very fun, good,
Okay.
close game, and seemed well balanced. And I know that if you're curious, if you have the Revenblade client installed, you can go to the stats page at the top, and it'll you can see everybody's ranking. And people that have exactly 1100 probably didn't play in the playtest, and people that have exactly 1000 probably didn't play, but you can still see um, like how much ELO they gained, what their win percentage was, etc. Just it went very well. I was very happy.
Awesome. Was there like any? I mean, I feel like you kind of sprinkled it in as you were talking about it, but was there any bit of feedback that you have that you'd like to share, or?
I mean, it's the issue with this playtest. Although it was a success, was just that it was small. So like the system that Mocha has implemented works on a small scale. it's hard to know if it's going to work on a large scale. And so we're kind of hoping, that it does scale. Um, I think that the elo system again probably needs tweaked a little bit, like the actual math or whatever, just um, based on what again the games that we played, but kind of hard to say. Like Arrow, who's ranked number 1 right now, played looks like 6 matches. He won all 6 of them, and he is at 1200 elo when he started at 1100. So that's approximately, I don't know, what, 15? No, more than that, 20, somewhere around 18 elo per win. Which maybe that's not that bad. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It depends on where you want to put like the actual ranked markers for like bronze, silver, gold, etc. And how many games you want people to have to meaningfully win or play to get to that. Which is all again just really hard to do on a small scale like this. So I think that the next playtest or whichever the Steam playtest will open a lot of eyes and have better feedback. There's lots of minor feedback in the Discord, but
Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect game, as we were
yeah,
discussing earlier.
yeah.
So
And I
basically,
do know,
good.
sorry, I do know that the like along with hopefully the next playtest being on Steam, that the current playtest was only offered to people in the Discord, and I do know that Mocha has a mailing list. And for anybody that knows anything about interaction, mailing lists are still like the number one way to get game interaction. Um, and I believe that he plans on utilizing that for this next Steam playtest. So it should be a much, hopefully uh, a much larger one.
Okay, but so basically, you're only, I guess, negative about this public playtest was just not really negative. It was just more of it was more
Yeah,
fit for a small scale like playtest.
yeah, it's small scale. So everything that you can judge, everything that I can reasonably judge at least based on the playtest, went extremely well with like the minor, like a lot of the feedback is super minor and just regarding like character balance or like the UI changes or like small bugs, right? Nothing that is like overarching or would break the beta. And then everything else went swimmingly, and the next playtest, like bigger scale, should be able to tell us more. Like I know, like for instance, this is less feedback, more just like stuff that's going to happen before the next beta, or hopefully. It's like Kraken should have full augments because I think right now his augments were like not lazily implemented, but mostly just stat changes and not necessarily actual effects, just so he can have a more fleshed out kit. I think Mocha wants to get the healer rework and like
Layla,
update in and stuff.
the
Healer.
the Layla.
Sorry, the Layla.
We don't
Whatever.
dead name here, Panda.
I do all the time.
Whoa, you
Um,
can't say that.
um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
there
like
there are
it
a
should.
lot of things on the way.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't really know about what the augments were with Kraken in this game. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just playing to get footage, I'll be honest. I mean, I was still getting lost in the sauce and just having fun playing
Yeah,
Kraken.
you die a lot.
I sure
You're
do.
playing against the bots. You die a lot.
Dude, I literally just turn the brain off and just run in and start swinging. Like as soon as Kraken goes into true form, I turn the brain off and I just start slamming, slapping my tentacles just fucking all over the place. Like, and then I die because I'm fucking in the thick of it, and then I go back to my stalker form and I die. Um,
Oh man.
as channel says inner mochas on. I don't even know what that means, Trin.
Yeah, I don't either.
Um,
Mocha's incredibly smart and intelligent. I don't know if Des has an inner one of those. Just
no.
kidding. Love you. Love you, Des.
No, it's fine. Everyone can just speak the truth. I'm just glad you did. I have an IQ of 5,
Oh
so
man.
it is perfectly fine. But I am very much excited and can't wait for the next playtest, whenever that will be. Um, So, and hopefully I don't miss this one because it was very much a bummer that I
Yeah,
ended up missing this playtest. I don't know if
I
I'd say
missed it too.
crucial playtest, but it was a I'd say a pretty big one. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, it had the most players like for a playtest that we've had in probably like a year.
but also just a
Just
lot
because,
of like changes that were integrated for
yeah,
the test as well. Like multiple reasons, this was a big playtest.
yeah.
He's just thinking slap, 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 clap, clap, clap. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty. I mean, yeah. I went true form, and then I was like, all right, turn off the brain. Kraken's is just very fun. Just to kind of throw that in there. Kraken's fun to play, and I hope new people got to play with Kraken during that playtest. Because this character is just so much fun. I'm like bad with this guy, but he was still fun to just run around and play this character. It's only a matter of time before we get Sakaro. I'm still waiting
Yep.
patiently.
Keep waiting. You sound very patient.
Uh, I mean, so it's already been. I'm pretty sure this has been publicly said. Um, but Kraken was the last hero to be made for the game before beta. So there's not going to be any more characters or anything to be dropped into the game before beta happens. But at some point after beta, we'll be starting to get more characters in the game, and one of those characters is Sakaro, and I'm very excited.
If I had to speculate, I would say Sakaru would be the first character after beta. I can do
uh,
lots of speculation actually, but I'm pretty sure that like he would be the first.
I mean, it would make sense considering the fact that I mean it's water mage, and the game has
Yeah,
had
he was
water
previously
mage.
implemented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hydromancer hype. Yeah.
Yeah, again, what I'm about to say is pure speculation, and it would be for beta there would be no more characters added. I think there might be a new map added, or not necessarily a new map, but like Cliff Village and or Foundry. I don't know. One of the other maps might make it in or just get changed slightly. Um, and then after beta, it would be Sakaru, then Valkyrie, and then probably another map at some point. I would personally, my biggest complaint with like current, like if we want to talk about Revenblade gameplay, um, and on like a macro level, not a micro level, it would just be that we've only really played Royal Gardens for like a year. And everyone knows how to play Royal Gardens, and adding more characters can kind of fix that. Like it's fun to learn new characters, kits and stuff, but the gameplay loop of Royal Gardens is kind of the same, where you take the high ground, wait for the tower to be up, everybody kind of brawls on the tower, cap the tower, etc. So I would really like to see more maps implemented.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. Yeah, everyone in the chat is talking about Valkyrie.
yeah,
And yes, Valkyrie is going to be coming after beta as well.
yeah. Like I said, probably after Sakaru, just because Sakaru at least has a model and like animations, which Valkyrie does not. To the
Yeah.
best of my knowledge, Valkyrie does not. It's entirely possible there is one behind the scenes, but
I mean, there's also Ophelia, but that's probably like way like later down the line, like way down the
I
line.
haven't heard that name in a while.
I opened the vault.
Yeah, dude. And there's
Um,
that. There's Shapeshifter. There's Alchemist. I mean, there's a backlog of characters that are
there are
somewhere.
there are a lot. Oh, I say a lot, but there are characters that are kind of in the backlog, just kind of waiting for their moment to shine.
Dude, please tell me you get the crystal here. All right,
Yeah.
thank God. I was like, if you die to the crystal, I'm gonna mold.
No, I'm good. Oh my god, I'm molding,
Dying to the crystal in a bot match, like that
bro.
would have been crazy.
If there's anything I'm good at, it's being bad.
True.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode. We went on a bit longer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had a decent bit to talk about in like I think 2 months since the last episode.
Yeah, it's been a
Um,
while.
yeah, unfortunately, these episodes are a little infrequent as we would like them to be. But again, life kind of happens, and there's nothing
Yeah.
we can really do about it. The best thing we can do is if once we know any news that Mocha will let us share, Panda and I are always like, okay, well, what day works for the both of us first? We
Yeah.
can talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as we're given the green light, we're like, all right, when's it happening?
When's the date? So we
so,
try.
Yeah, we're trying out here.
Dude, watching a Spider-Man swing is so funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to swing away, and I just freaking face plant every time. I'm not good with this character, but God, he's so fun. Just unga bunga.
Oh man.
And the Kaizen lived on 1 too. I'm fucking mad about it. But it's okay. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Thank you again for tuning in for the stream. Again, I stream these on my Twitch, twitch.tv/actualdes, if you would like to join the cast live or just to watch me stream and play games. It'd be great to have you. And thank you for watching this on YouTube. I'll have this. This is mostly for Twitch chat. I'll be having this episode out within the next day or two, like I normally do. But this one's also going to have a cinematic too.
True.
So it's going to be a little bit different. Please, when you criticize me, I am small boy.
All
Please,
fragile, guys. Be nice to him.
don't kill me. But I mean, if you have feedback, by all means, share it. But yeah, that's going to be it for us. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you for the next episode.
Bye.